Hi, everybody. Welcome back to TIMBP Live. I'm Barry. I'm the host here. You're coming back. But it's... Hold on. What's happening? I'm ready to go live. Well, won't it let me go live? Am I in? Crap. Oh, well, that's one way to go. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to TIMBP Live. I'm Barry. I'm the host. That was incredible. That's fantastic. My goodness gracious. I'm not even embarrassed. I'm just kind of a little bit proud of how awful that started out. It didn't StreamYard didn't tell me that I was live, so I assumed, like, it kept loading, so I assumed I assumed that it wasn't working. But oh well, I guess. If you're new here, welcome. If you're coming back, thank you so much for being here. Everybody, please hit the subscribe button, like the video, all that good stuff. We are streaming live on Facebook as well for the second time. Did that last week also. So thank you to everybody who watched on Facebook. Thank you to Donnie for being here, our blue wrench for the evening. Cheech as well. Oh, Cheech. 947 subs. 53 away from 1,000. Steve A. With the hard-hitting question, Jack Daniels night. Is it bourbon? Yes. Guess the stream's done. Yep. Good night, everybody. We got a whopping 2.5 minutes in. So, hello, Bubble Bath Bourbon. Big Vic, what's up? Man, we got a good crowd in here already tonight. Thank you all so much for being here. I know I missed some people. Robot Scott, hello. Maybe I didn't miss some people. I don't know. It's fine. If you are not subscribed, indeed, Cheech, with the call there, please do join the fun, hit the bell, and set notifications to all. Cheech has got it down. Pat, we're going to have a special guest here popping in just a minute. I know that it bugs people to ask that question, Steve, but I know. Oh, hello. I know that Jack Daniels is technically considered bourbon. I think. Will, I tried both of the Russell's picks. Didn't I? I think I did. Yes to one, and yes to the other. I tried them on my sample stream a couple weeks ago that failed miserably because YouTube decided that it was going to absolutely just crap the bed. So that's about where I'm at. I can hear our special guest in the background. She doesn't sound too pleased at the moment. So sorry about this. I thought I saw the camera was a wee bit off. Because it was. So bourbon is a subset of whiskey. Tennessee whiskey is a subset of bourbon. That's a great way to put it, Steve. Donnie, not technically. It is bourbon. They choose to be called Tennessee whiskey. Indeed. Steve A's having Jack Daniels Heritage Barrel tonight. I have only had Heritage Barrel, I think, once before. And I like it. I think it's pretty good. I do have a small little lineup that we're going to try. I'm just now realizing that one of them is not even like what could be considered bourbon. It's just the rye. I'm an idiot. But that's how things go tonight. It's going great. Swan's watching in silence. Hello, Swan. Emily says, love y'all. Smack the thumbs up. the bell notification, ring a ding ding, do all that stuff. All right, let's get started with something. I didn't want to commit to buying full bottles of these, so we're gonna start with a little feller. Oh, I forgot to say something too. You can support the show. Food, wine, and with you. What's up, man? I love this topic. It gets opinions to be posted. Yes. So everybody post your opinion. Is Jack Daniel's bourbon or not? And we have already kind of established that it pretty much is. Well, I don't even know what I was saying. Oh, yeah. Tipping. You can support the show through tipping. The link for which is down in the description below. It'll show up right over here on screen as well. What you're seeing is the remnants of last week's stream. At work, did I miss Perry Russell? Eric Smith, you have not missed Perry Russell. Perry Russell's not shown up yet. I think we've answered that question rather. That's true. That is true. Oh, freaking A. Yeah, I will send you a message back about that as well. I apologize. Donnie says, unless your name is Chad, it is bourbon. That's fair. So let's have a little bit of Jack Daniel's number 7. Also, Emily, I liked your little baby Jacklets comment. So that was some good ASMR for you all. Daddy says that Jack Daniels wishes it was bourbon. Donnie's got the link for tipping. It does work in the description this week. You can just pop up another window if you're watching on your computer, or you can just tip through your phone as well. It's all through Stream Elements. You can also find some other ways to do it in the description below. This is a product of us not being at 1,000 subs yet. That will change hopefully within the near future. But until then, this is the best that we got. So appreciate everybody who supports the show through tipping. You guys are awesome. And also, thanks for supporting everybody. For everybody who supports on Patreon. And you can also find all of our apparel and merchandise at bourbonshop.threadless.com. Chief, thank you so much for popping that up. Swan, I love peeking over the bottom of the screen. Shout out to those bunny ears. That's where Swan's been relegated to. The bottom of the screen, barely looking over. Good stuff. Hello, Ian. Good to see you. Hello, cheers, Mr. Whiskey Shits. A lot of blue wrenches in the chat. That's what it's all about, man. It's a good sport team. All right. Funko Pop Perry's going to get a giant-sized bottle of Jack Daniels. Why does the camera keep going fuzzy? Keeps doing that. It's driving me crazy. I don't know why. I went all Owen Wilson at the end there. Wow. That is just nothing but bananas, man. That's just straight up bananas on the nose. My friend Colin, who does the Hop-Ons podcast, tried Jack Old Number 7 for the first time a couple weeks ago, and he basically said, "Derek Julian, good luck." Thank you, Derek. Appreciate that. Oh gosh, sorry about that. Steve A, we needed a large stack of wrenches last night for Jason's anniversary stream for about 15 minutes too. What happened last night? Did his stream get bombarded with stuff? Oh, thank you, Emily. Thank you. Anyway, but he said that it was just basically bananas. And I have to agree with him because it's just banana runts on the nose. Massive troll. What's up, Roscoe P. Coltrane? Cheers to you as well. Troll swarms. You know what's funny? I was thinking about that before we started tonight. What's up, Danny's Candies? Oops, sorry. Danny says, "Hey Perry, joining late. Wish Jack Daniels would come out with some older age stated bottles, bottlings. Excuse me. I would love to see some age statement stuff from Jack. Other than the single barrel proofs, which we'll get to in a bit. Trolls and a-holes is what happened last night. I did not realize that. Donnie, I'll ask you about it later. Sugar Kitty. Hello. Meow. How does Dickel now having a bourbon play into this discussion? Tony Bag of Donuts. Hi, Perry in chat. Well, if you're not drinking bourbon, neither am I. I don't have any Jack Daniels, so it's Canadian whiskey tonight. Fair enough. I want that Jack Daniels bottled in bond. Bubble bath, I want to try that as well. I would love to try the Jack bottled in bond. This is one of the easiest things I've had to drink in a long time. 80 proof. There are much worse things that I have had, but I don't really. I just don't really crave this. I don't really think about how much I don't want to drink it. New subscriber Dave Dampier. Dampier? I don't really know. Thank you, Dave, so much for subscribing, putting us one closer to 1,000. Also, Katie Yax. Thank you, Katie, for subscribing. Back to your question about Dickel now having a bourbon. I think that when people have this conversation and Eric, what the heck are you talking about? What? What are you talking about? Did you do something at my house the other day? What does that mean? What did you do at my house? Now I'm stressed out. Anyway. I keep getting distracted. I'm sorry. Cheech also says you can join This Is My Bourbon Podcast for behind the scenes content, merch, and so much more at Patreon. Patreon.com/This Is My Bourbon Podcast. Or maybe it's My Bourbon Podcast. I don't know. Matt Porter. Matt, I filmed also. Hi, buddy. I love you and hope you're doing well. I filmed a video the other day where I did an intro that was basically riffing off of yours, and I ended it with, and I can't do this for the rest of the video. So stay tuned for that, everybody. You'll see it before too long. As far as this Dickel being labeled as bourbon thing goes, I think that when people have this conversation, they are purely going off of what the label says. And when it gets to the technical definition of bourbon, yes, Jack Daniels is bourbon. Dickel is bourbon. But the difference is that, yes, they do choose to call it Tennessee whiskey. And yes, they do. They have, I think it's a law too that they have. There's just a muddying that kind of happens with that conversation, and it's frustrating and it's annoying. And I am of the, I guess, camp that, yeah, Jack Daniels is bourbon. That's just not what they call it. And that's totally fine. Let it be Tennessee whiskey. Let it be its own thing. But at the same time, it's it if it doesn't want to be called bourbon, I don't have any problem with that. I really don't. Donnie says, "Hey Matt, get your subs over here so we can get me over 1,000. That would be fantastic. Please, 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 please." Dickel is the same juice inside, so how much does it really matter? Not much. Not much, Sugar Kitty. As Ralphie says, the bottle is the contract. Excuse me. Yes, it is. And Eric said, Perry did a good ADHD whiskey Matt Madness style hosting on the recent podcast episode. Stressed him the heck out. Steve A, there are some very good reasons from a marketing standpoint that Jack Daniels and Dickel label is being Tennessee whiskey instead of bourbon. Absolutely. And there's definitely that distinction of, people thinking, oh, Jack Daniels is whiskey, and therefore, well, all bourbon comes from Kentucky. And, that's the way that people think. So, of course, they're going, well, Jack Daniels wasn't made in Kentucky, so it's not bourbon at all. And that's just not the case. That's not the thing. Once you get down to it, it's produced in the same exact way that bourbon should be. The only difference is this charcoal filtering, charcoal mellowing, whatever you want to call it. But it's still a... Thanks, Perry Russell. Cheech also says, if you're not subscribed to the podcast, why not? So I echo that sentiment. Why not? Please subscribe. But it's still the same process. It's still the same thing, and it should be considered bourbon. However, it makes sense that it's not. It makes sense in this context that it's not considered bourbon. And that's the perfect way of putting it, Steve A. I completely understand why they label as being Tennessee whiskey, but that doesn't stop it from also being bourbon. The bottle says charcoal chill filtered, so it is not the same as JD. Fair. Also, I think I saw Lil slip in, our resident Aussie. Thank you so much, Lil, for being here. Good morning to you. Thank you for listening while you make breakfast. And whiskey is bourbon, but not all. Wait, bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon. That's the thing. Cheers to you, Will Henderson, with the first tip of the evening, $5. Well, that was a train wreck. That was fine. Oh, it's kind of like a banana bread now. Again, I don't mind it. It's just not my favorite thing. I would rather have a bourbon. It is bourbon. Oh, it's Ed. What's up, Ed? It is bourbon. It's been bourbon. It'll be bourbon tomorrow and until Armageddon. Amen to that. There's Dave. Dave, our newest subscriber. Thank you so much, Dave. As a true Kentuckian, I've had some really good bourbon from outside of Kentucky. As for Jack, here's what I have found about its distinction. We will... Oh, yes. To answer your question, Tony, yes, it is the same. That makes it the same as Jack. Yes. Sorry, I must have missed the question mark there. So, my apologies. You want to know something crazy? This is another one that I've got for tonight. But okay. How? No, it makes sense. Kind of. It's crazy to me that this little bottle, which is the airplane version of Jack single barrel, but not barrel proof, it's just a single barrel. is 50 mil, just like these little Jack bottles. It's crazy to me. This is my Tennessee whiskey podcast as much. Tim Twip. Yes, Tim Twip is very funny. Okay, so Brother Eddie says that Jack D is bourbon, but that has been ruined by the LCP, by the Lincoln County process. If the juice inside Dickel bourbon doesn't have that minerality, then it would be a good differentiator, and bourbon would be an appropriate label. But that's, I think that's conflating two different things. That's conflating the fact that it is bourbon based on taste as opposed to bourbon based on the process. Because we justify what is bourbon by how it tastes, though there are things that are characteristic about it. We justify it by the way that it is made and where it is made. Those are the two big things. Taste is one thing, that's subjective. Process and science behind it, that is totally objective. That is a tried and true process of creation. And I get what you're saying. Perry Russell, my voice sounds amazing. I get what you're saying, Danny. I just it's just not quite the same thing, in my opinion. I still don't feel like I have enough light. Do I have enough light now? I think I'm getting there. I'm trying out some new lighting this week. So let's move on, shall we? I feel like I shouldn't drink Jack Daniels out of this is my bourbon drinking glasses. But that being said, and there I go again. That being said, we're going to try the rye next, which I don't think I've ever had, to be honest. Here we go. Oh, wait. It would have to be a different process to get that minerality out of the taste. But isn't that... yes. But if it still adheres to the 51% corn made in America, no lower than 80 proof, no higher than 160, those guidelines, I mean, wouldn't it still be considered bourbon? The filtering process is not what makes it bourbon, right? Also, thank you, Tim Evans. 29 in here, 16 likes. Lego. Yes, please do hit the like button. Appreciate you guys. Here's what Dave said. Jack Daniels was told by the government that they had to call it bourbon. We objected and used the fact that our whiskey is different and doesn't have the characteristics of bourbon. That's fair. Don, I'm too old to have ever had Flintstones vitamins, so I'm missing that crucial point of reference. Been wondering if I should try some so I know what everyone is talking about. You should. But bourbon can be chilled filtered too. Yeah, it's not that. It's the type of filtering, I guess. So let's talk politics or religion next. Surely we can agree on those. People are going to believe what they believe. That's fair. And Patrick says it's bourbon. When I was young, we didn't have no Flintstones vitamins. We got all the nutrients from chewing bugs outside, and we liked it. Did you also go uphill both ways in the snow to and from school? Tests were conducted in the government lab. They concluded that Jack had neither the characteristics of bourbon or rye whiskey, but rather is a distinctive product which may be labeled whiskey. Interesting. I like that there is some kind of like science behind that as well. I find that really interesting. Let's taste some more whiskey. It's more fun to drink. Let's do it. So this is the Jack Rye. Pop Perry's going to get the Jack Rye bottle. Part of the minerality has to be the water, not necessarily, because I believe if it's made far enough north, it still sits on the same limestone shelf that Kentucky sits on. That's the thing. That's another thing that people don't realize, that the limestone shelf is not. And I'm not criticizing anybody, or not. I'm not trying to speak down to anybody, but the limestone shelf is not just in Kentucky. It goes above into Indiana and down into Tennessee, and so that water can still, that pre-filtered water that everybody talks about, that leads to bourbon being so good, that has other places of residence, I guess we'll say. It doesn't just exist in Kentucky. So if they are at the point where they can have access to that same water, that would be the reason why it could still, have the same purpose or same qualities of Kentucky bourbon. And there you go. Ian says, not that. New Riff and Newport and Cincinnati have the same limestone shelf. There you go. So even up into Ohio as well. Whoa, that's minty. That is a minty rye. Holy moly. It's got some, like, what is that? I think I'm getting my nose too far into it because I'm not able to. Like a charcoal briquette? Man, I thought I did that already. Porter, are you still in here? Why'd I get a text message saying I needed to complete my interview for the world's top whiskey taster? I thought I did it already. Matt, I need your help. Matt, let me know if you're in here. I need to know if I'm in. I can confirm. Eric says, I don't have a shelf, just bottles all over the floor. I have both, but I have also seen Eric's setup. Hey, that's not bad at all. Especially for an 80 proof rye. It punches way above its weight class. I actually quite like that. I need to put it up against the Dickel rye sometime as well. I don't know where that bottle is. That would be fun. I need to do a non-Kentucky rye flight sometime, blind or otherwise, just to see what I think. Louisville gets its water from the Ohio River. No limestone filter there. I would assume Northern Kentucky does the same. That's fair. The mint is nice, but it's a wintertime rye. I always get a roasted walnut note on this. It is definitely it is definitely a darker, nuttier kind of nose. And the palate's, I agree with you. It's not a summertime rye. It's definitely a winter rye. But I dig it. I really like it. I'm not enjoying it here in the middle of summer with a fan blowing on me, by the way, at the moment. Thanks to whoever liked the video on Facebook. You're a real cool dude. That's all I want to say. Good. It's really deep and complex for an 80 proof rye. And it's what, like $25 a bottle? So, I mean, even again, oh no, it's 90 proof. That might explain why I was a little bit surprised by some of the flavor on it. But it's quite full bodied. It's quite full bodied. I would like to know what the mash bill on this as well. And Swan says MG sourced. That is true. I forgot about that. Here we go. Also, howdy to you, Chris, in Aussie land, Oz, the land of Oz, somewhere over the rainbow. Legally, to be bourbon, it must be at least 51% corn, not distilled higher than 160 proof, and placed in new charred oak barrels at 125 proof or below. Must be bottled at a minimum of 80. Yes. Woo, 950. 50 left to go to 1,000. That's incredible. Do you think we can do it before the end of the night? I don't think we can. So, maybe Matter's still in here. Maybe he can get us over. Tim Evans, 950 subs. Let's go phone a friend. Please. You are correct, Donnie. New charred oak containers. Could be a box. Could be a shoe made out of new charred oak, which would be weird. It could be a guitar made out of new charred oak, which, holy crap, how has nobody done that yet? And can I get the guitar after it's done housing the bourbon? Sidebar, would there be enough bourbon left in it for it to be a good experiment? I don't know. I want to... I kind of want to... Has anybody done that yet? I know there's like the Bourbon Barrel Guitar Company, but they're just making guitars out of bourbon barrels. Cheech with it again. If you're not subscribed yet, please do so. Join the fun. Don't forget that there are tipping links down below in the description. Very little train you couldn't. We can. We could totally do it. I got a Whiskey Mutant Wheaties sample pack and some snack cakes for 1,000 sub giveaway. Let's go. Yes, please. Let's get there. I would love that. Who makes guitars out of oak? Truly only that I know of. Did you guys lose people so they could go watch the Bourbon with Friends podcast live video on Instagram? Did we lose 10 people because of that? Is there a war going on between us? I don't think there is, but that would be funny. They're out of Lexington, or at least Central Kentucky. But the only company I know of is Bourbon Barrel Guitars that makes them out of oak. I'd like one. I'd like one. They're expensive, kind of expensive, but whoops. Shoe bourbon. Yes. I keep clicking the wrong thing. It would have to be a whole piece. Can't have any glue or nails to hold it together. That is true. That is true. It could, but I mean, there are ways to where you can make the guitar, and it probably would. No, it'd probably have to be an acoustic guitar in some capacity. But you could build it essentially to some of the same standards that you would with a regular barrel or a box or whatever the heck you want to call it. You know, just so it's being held together without having anything else put in it there. 953. Woo! Stream Elements needs to get updated. I'm only seeing 950 on my screen at the moment. Oh, it could be a new charred oak litter box. Jackie went live. Jackie Zycan. Is that why we lost some folks? Oh, they come to visit you at Total Wine more than I do. That's because I work and I have a child and I have a limited budget, Swan. I would love to meet those guys though. I don't know them personally. It would be really cool to get to know them. Feel an Anchorman style battle in Lexington approaching? That would be hysterical. If they made one from a new barrel, I don't see why that would not count. Get to work on that, Barry. I would freaking love to have a guitar aged bourbon. Maybe if I ever do. I got asked this question recently. If I opened a distillery in the future or created my own bourbon, I would want it to be aged in guitar-shaped barrels. Or a barrel that would essentially become a guitar one day. I want that to happen so badly. John Wadsworth, Fender made some early pedal steels out of oak, but quit because the acidity of the wood caused the finish to flake off. It doesn't have to be a finished guitar. I mean, I think that it would actually be, I think it would actually be cooler and have more character if the guitar itself was just it came from the natural aging of the bourbon and the leakage and everything, and then once it's all done, once it's all said and done, then you can actually finish the guitar itself or coat the guitar itself in a polyurethane or something, so that everything kind of stays in place. So I know some things. I know a couple of things. I don't have to buy to visit Swan. That's true. I miss Swan. Unfinished would be awesome. Absolutely. Eric Smith, newer, have missed that gimmick. I do claim it. Hey, Billy Gibbons, what are you playing these days? Oh, barrel of bourbon. Hi, Scott Pigsley. Scott, I think you might be our newest Patreon subscriber. Thank you so much, buddy. I meant to send you a message thanking you and welcoming you. But I appreciate you, Scott, and I appreciate everybody who's over at patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast. Appreciate you guys. Big D guitars. Okay, Donnie, you can't drop that link in the chat and not explain what Big D guitars is. I don't want to pop it up on my computer. I'll just look it up on my phone. I'm going to finish this rye, by the way. Or I'm going to wait a minute. You know what? Even the rye has some of those banana notes that are present in the whiskey itself. Hey, thank you, Scott. I really do appreciate it. Really, really, truly do. Are we still at 9:53? I think we are. Oh, the guitar is made from barrels. No, not Bugs guitars. Big D guitars. What do you mean web page isn't available? Oh, because I didn't type the name right. No, daggone it. Ooh, they look so good. Oh, whiskey barrel guitar. There we go. Oh, they look freaking sick. Are these the people who built a was it like a Telecaster looking guitar for Fred Minnick? I think it might have been. Those are cool. There's a Jack barrel. There's a turkey one, Maker's Mark. Oh, I'd have to get one with the Bigsby on it. That is killer. I can't click the link in StreamYard. I don't have the ability to do that, unfortunately. Justin Johnson. Okay, I will check him out too, though. I want to see what his guitar playing is like. Bugs guitars are in the shape of a pink hair and copyright Hanna-Barbera. That's hysterical. That is really freaking funny to me. All right, let's knock this back. Because I still got 2 of these whiskeys to get to. And the next one is the 94 proof Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Select, which I have not had at this proof before. I, of course, have had the barrel strength single barrel, or single barrel strength, I guess is what it's actually called, plenty of times, and I love that whiskey. I think it's fantastic. But I have not tried this one at 94 proof. I just love when you take a really well-designed bottle and you are able to be so modular with it in the way that Jack Daniel's has with this particular bottle, we'll see in my camera. There we go. I mean, that is so cool. The fact that it's essentially, you don't really have to go searching for it if you know what you're looking for. And you can just go and that's how you identify it, of course. I mean, you can go to the store, you can find it in airplane bottles, 375s, and even the standard 750s. So I think this is one of the best pieces of design in whiskey. Honestly, I think it's so cool, and Jack Daniel's absolutely knocked it out of the park with this one. Also, Snuffy's a little bit more pronounced now on the stream, so everybody say what up, Snuffy. Also, Snuffy chats, hashtag Snuffy chats. Those are what our tips are called. And I'd like to remind everybody that tipping is still available and has been for the past 41 minutes and will continue to be for the next 19-ish. So maybe we'll go a little bit long. Feeling kind of good. In a good headspace tonight. Don't know why. I don't feel like I didn't really eat much today. I think that's kind of part of it. I don't have that like weighed down carb feel. So anyway, do love the minis, Lil, and hashtag Snuffy Squad. Love the Snuffy Squad. You guys are awesome. Huh. Smells kind of metallic. Pizza is good, Tommy D. Pizza good. Pizza real good. I got a frozen pizza in the fridge. Might pull that out. Looks a little tired tonight. Hashtag Snuffy Snooze. He's a little sleepy. But my man Snuffy's good over here. He's hanging out. He's chilling, maxing, relaxing, all cool. Shooting some b-ball outside of school. A couple of kids who were up to no good started making trouble in his neighborhood. He got in one little fight and his mom got scared. He said, "You're moving with your auntie and your uncle in Bel Air." He whistled for a cabin when he came near. His license plate said fresh and there were dice in the mirror. I can't remember the next half of that. I can only get to why are you giving Tommy the SM25 code? Swan, that's hilarious. I have no idea why that's being that's hysterical to me. Okay. That's not so bad. I could potentially be convinced if I were doing that blind that was a bourbon. And here we go. Not a Jack Daniel's product, I think is probably a better way to say it. It's impressive. Well, thank you. If that doesn't get me tips, I don't know what does. Shaq Zula, Mike Wooler, the old schooler. If you want a trip, I'll bring it to you. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, I could probably be convinced that this was not a Jack Daniel's product, but I don't dislike it. I think it's lacking a little bit of brightness. They could really round it out some, but it's good. It's quite good. Woo! Chris has to dispatch another 2 boxes of 6 bottles from Florida to join the box of 6 New Riff picks at 105.9 proof and a box of 6 Yellowstone picks at 115 proof. Holy crap. Chris, is that the Yellowstone pick that LBS did? If so, I've had it and it's very good. I can see this, and I think that it's a little bit sacrilegious being from Kentucky. I think I genuinely like Jack Daniels. I think the old number 7 is fine. It's not my favorite. I think that rye is spectacular. I do think though this is kind of off, and I didn't have this tonight. I should have, but I. Oh, okay, cool, Chris. I don't like Gentleman Jack though. I think Gentleman Jack is a huge, huge miss for them. It's a very, very average whiskey, I would say. Can you guys still hear me okay if I do that? I feel like my camera's not focusing super well tonight. I could be wrong. I could just be. Hello? 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 I could just be being paranoid. My ADHD is really bad tonight, or ADD, I guess. Um, oh, it's fantastic. Scott Bigsley. Perry likes Jack Daniels, so I was the newest Patreon member, unsubbed. I'm sorry. I there are products in their line that I genuinely like and I have an affection for. Jack Daniel's single barrel proof is easily my favorite, of course. And truth be told, the single barrel rye that came out last year, the cast strength rye, is incredible. I think it's absolutely spectacular. But going back to this, Steve A. Gentleman Jack is a great easy sipper, but that's about it. Not a lot of depth, certainly much to explore, but quite easy to sit back and just drink. And I think that's where I kind of I fall on my own sword at that point, because I spend so much time drinking these really heavy, well-rounded bourbons. Did I lose a bunch of subs because I said I like Jack? That's pretty funny. I don't think I did. Also, Papa Ritter's here. Not a fan of Jack Daniels, but like the barrel proof. Hi, Papa Ritter. Is the focus on Snuffy? Is that why it's Snuffy? Are you stealing the show? I don't know. Might not be. I don't know what I was saying. I had a lot of whiskey very quickly. So, Snuffy, sorry, buddy. I'm going to put you back up in your spot. Command the stream, Snuff. You're in charge, buddy. He does look sad, though. Looks tired. I do need subs who stick around. That would be great. The reflection of the screen in my glasses is throwing it off. Is it? Oh well. Another one bites the dust. Daggone it. Well, we were getting close. We'll get there eventually. I'm not worried about it tonight. Jack Daniel's single barrel rye was indeed phenomenal, Scott. I agree. Whew. Okay. Well, just did that. So I guess I'm also kind of doing a fresh Perry pour, or a Perry cracks. I don't know what you want to call it. Of this Too Many Other Eyes for the camera to see. That's fair. What am I saying? This is a single barrel pick from Total Wine. Swan says, now the Jack Daniels I've been waiting for. Yes. So our one of our Total Wines in Lexington did a pick of Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. This one was bottled on April 7th of this year at 128.1 proof. Ooh, America. I did say crack. And there we go. I said it again. Not quite a Perry pour, but I'll show you guys in a second. Who is this that just donated? Oh, it's Food, Wine, and Whiskey. Thank you, Rob. $5, he said, because you like Jack Daniels. Every dollar donated to the show goes towards my therapy of not liking Jack Daniels anymore. So, cheers to you, Rob. Appreciate you. Also, look at the friggin' color on this thing. Going Matt Porter. Look at the color. Welcome back to TIMBP YouTube. My name is Matt. Whoa. It's savory, it's floral, it's got a lot of barrel influence on there as well. Yeah, it's super dark. I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I say, I mean, like, it looks just as dark in person as it does on camera. Doot, doot. There we go. It's a really great color. The banana's still there. It's going to put me down for the count? Yeah, probably. But the good thing is, I'll probably stretch it out over the next few hours. So, yes. Dad says, please keep the tips coming in. And if you should listen to anybody, it should be this man, Papa Ritter. Oh my gosh, this guy. Papa Ritter says, you got to listen to him. Thank you, Cheech, for sharing the tipping link again. Can I just say, we have a great team of moderators here. Between Cheech, Steve, Donnie, you guys are you're fantastic. You guys are doing the Lord's work out here, not just for us. You're doing it for a bunch of different accounts, pages, channels. That's what I was looking for across Whiskey Tube. And y'all are terrific. So thank you guys so much. I wish I could pay you more, but we had to make budget cuts. That's why you all lost interns this year. We are considering reopening the intern program, but it's touch and go, man. We're still kind of we're not entirely sure. But the good news is you will still be getting your Christmas bonus. So keep that in mind. Maybe don't go looking at pools yet. But the good thing is You're going to be fine. We're all going to be fine. I just, it's going to be okay if your water has to go off for a couple of weeks. Just hear me out. Just hear me out. If one of us stinks, we're all going to stink together, because solidarity. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Oh yeah, Swan's a blue wrench too. He likes being blue. Cheech has also pulled up where you can also send tips. Appreciate that. Steve said, haven't had much to do tonight, thankfully. Haven't had to do much tonight is what she said. But glad to help when it's needed. I do appreciate you, Steve. Hashtag moderator dream team. What notification did I just get? My phone vibrated, but not for a notification that I normally would have had. Huh. Strange. Oh well. Hey. I gotta try this. The Linux Smurf. That's funny. Am I saying that you should not reserve the re-release of the Lamborghini, that word, Countach? Hope I said that right. I'm going to say hold off. But in a couple of years, things are going to even out and you're going to be okay. We'll talk about it. We're going to have a big meeting on Monday. Corporate's called as well. And they want to talk with everybody. Just kind of lay the groundwork for how the next few quarters are going to go. It's going to be okay. It's okay. It's going to be okay. I don't know if you should pay the down payment. Just maybe hold off. Okay. Whew. That is unlike any Jack Daniel's single barrel proof I have ever had. French vanilla. Caramel syrup? What? Am I seriously getting like a caramel sundae off of this? Whoa. The oakiness is definitely present as well. If this keeps up, the wrenches may start talking unionization. That's hysterical. It wasn't a "it's not me, it's you" speech. It was just I want to make sure everybody's aware of what's happening. But I do the okey pokey. That's funny. I did get a message at the beginning of the stream from our YouTube intern, who is it's not your all's intern. It's not my intern. It's the intern for YouTube, who said that you guys needed to step it up a little bit. But again, Christmas bonuses still in place. Everybody's still getting what they things aren't going to change much. Does that help? Does that help at all? I think it might have. I didn't say, Dad, are you a moderator? Wait a second. Does Papa Ritter have a blue wrench? And I didn't know it? Oh, no, he doesn't. Okay. Well, that's fair. That's fair. I've lost control of this stream, which is okay, because I love you guys and I appreciate y'all hanging out with me over the past hour. But I don't want to go too far over, because True P Whiskey is going live. Rocket Review is going live. And I don't want to take away from anybody's time for too long. If we're going to cap this off with a conclusion statement, I would say Jack Daniels may not be labeled as bourbon, but Perry hasn't even made me an intern on the podcast. I'm basically just on a school food field trip. That's fair. That's fair. Anyway, that does it for tonight. Thank you all so much. Jack Daniels, that's good. May not always be considered bourbon by some. I think at its core, it is. It still has the merits of bourbon. It just is not called it. And there you have it. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching on the replay. If you have done so, it is bourbon. Swan's going to be hanging out in Clifton's Discord. I'm going to be recording a podcast with my buddy Jesse for their show Alphabet Flight, which is about Marvel characters after this. So looking forward to it. Thank you guys so much. Go follow us on social medias at My Bourbon Pod. Go, if you have not already, subscribe to the show down below, and also head to patreon.com/My Bourbon Podcast for as little as $1 a month. Help support the show in a big way. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. See you guys next week. But until then, I'm Perry, and this is TIMBP YouTube channel, TIMBP Live, whatever we're calling here.